Hello everyone, my name is Maria Cristoforu and I work at the Cyprus University of Technology Language Center. I'm here to present my study on Deviant Art, which is a social networking tool for artists worldwide. And the name of my study is Evaluating Deviant Art as an Educational Tool for Collaborative Learning. On the second slide, you can see the contents of my presentation. After a brief introduction, I will give you the characteristics of collaborative learning, and then I will talk briefly about the social constructivist theory, which is the theoretical framework for the study. Then I will give you some information about Deviant Art, which is the tool, the social networking tool that I employed in the study. And then I will analyze more extensively the study itself, the results and the conclusions that were drawn, along with the references that I used. Now, as far as the two research questions are concerned, first of all, as I said, I used Deviant Art in my study. And basically, the paper aims to investigate the students' perceptions of the tool as a tool for creating collaborative learning opportunities first, and second, to examine up to what extent the students intended to continue with this tool after the termination of the course. Now, for the third slide, we can see some of the major characteristics of collaborative learning, which are, of course, the promotion of active learning, because students collaborate with each other. So the lesson is no longer passive. The teacher no longer has a central role. He or she rather has a facilitator's role, and the lesson is more student-centered. The students also share their experiences in small groups. Now, the small groups in this study where the students with their fellow students or with other users of the platform online. And the last characteristics are the students reflecting on their experiences, which is what they did throughout the whole study. Now, moving on, we can see some information about the social constructivist theory. As I mentioned before, the study was based on the social constructivist theory, where emphasis is given on the collaborative nature of learning and the importance of cultural and social context. And all cognitive functions are believed to originate in and are explained as products of social interactions. So it becomes more socially, as a social practice, it becomes more interactive and practical. And learning is more than just the assimilation of new knowledge by learners. So learners do more than just, understand plain information. It's the process by which learners are integrated into a knowledge community. So they become more social and active members. Now, on the fifth slide, you can see the logo of Deviant Art. There have been some changes throughout the years concerning the logo, but this is the latest one. So this is the logo that they have and they keep in their official website. Now, some information about the tool, the social networking tool, Deviant Art. Deviant Art was first launched in August 2000. So it has been pretty active for 20 years now. It features artists' work in photography, in videography, in general artwork. And once you register, you become a deviant. Of course, you can have your own username, but you are called a deviant, and your posts, like whatever you post, it's called a deviation. Registration to the community is free. However, the artist who would like to become, enjoy the benefits of the platform, like getting money when they sell their work, they have to pay an extra amount of money. They have to pay a fee. So if you want to enjoy the benefits, then a paid membership is required. However, all deviants can navigate through a range of topics, like from 3D art to literature, make comments on their fellow, artists' work, and keep their own journal, like write more extensively. On slide number 7, you can see how a profile looks like. This is my profile. I created an account prior to the commencement of the semester. I wanted to have a more hands-on experience with the tool, to get to know it first before introducing it to the students. That's the only picture I posted. Okay, and you can see some of the features like the gallery. It says journals, that's where you write, more than just a comment. Your posts, your favorite pictures or art in general, your followers, and the comments that you make and the comments that you receive. For slide number 8, you can see an example of their interactions. Well, this is brief. Sometimes they were longer, sometimes they were shorter, sometimes they were meaningful, and some other times they were more superficial. Basically, their interactions depended on their interests, whether they liked something or not, whether it was for constructive feedback or something that they just commented on, like something abstract, something more personalized. So it depended. It was mostly for feedback and for networking. So comments varied according, of course, to the art movement or to the type of art itself. Now, concerning the study, the use of the Deviant Art tool was part of the course English for Academic Purposes. That was for fine arts, of course, in the fall semester 2019. And the course content revolved around themes of art and art movements, for example, Romanticism, Surrealism, and topics related to art, whether that had to do with their field of study, career, paths that they could choose with this degree, or art techniques, ways of commenting on art, etc. Now, the participants were 11 first-year students, 4 males and 7 females, and their ages ranged between 18 to 40 years old. The data for the study were collected through the students' reflective diary. The students kept a diary throughout the semester. It was put into effect on the end of week 3, which was right at the beginning of the semester, and lasted until week 13, which was the last week of the semester. Another tool that was used was the instructions field notes. The field notes provided a more reflective view. It was more personal. It was, from a more personal point of view, of the student's experience with the tool. And the last instrument was the questionnaire, a Google form questionnaire. It was given to the students at the end of the semester. Now the questionnaire enhanced the reflective content. The first research question was to investigate whether students perceived DeviantArt to be a positive tool for collaborative learning opportunities. Now, table 1 shows that 8 out of 11 students, that's a high percentage, 72.7% of the students considered it to be a positive tool. They had positive perceptions regarding constructive comments. Some of them talked about the comments, some of them about the feedback, like using English also to exchange in comments. Some of them where it was great to exchange comments on art and thoughts with another person in English. Another student commented on the evaluation of the work and the improvement of, their artistic level. So positive perceptions continued with comments like it's interesting and it's definitely interesting and it helps my work. And most of the comments were positive. We used English to talk about art. Positive perceptions also were based on the online presence of students. So my online presence is automatically a worldwide presence. The spectrum is bigger. Another comment was, whether we like it or not, this is the new way of communication. So as we can see, their perceptions were positive. Only one student was negative, and the student actually referred to DeviantArt as being not a tool to learn and exchange about art. The student said, I prefer traditional ways of learning about art. So the perception of the student was negative. Table 2 shows the results from the analysis of the second research question, which was whether students intended on continuing with DeviantArt after the termination of the course. We can see that answers here varied. 5 out of 11 students intended on using it up to a great extent, whereas an equal figure intended on using it up to a moderate extent. So that's 45.5%. Whereas one student, again, was negative about it and had no intention, of continuing with the tool after the termination of the course. Now, concerning the positive intention, some students said, it's something I will continue working on. It helps enormously in the artistic department. So they were very, very determined to continue. Yes, I want to attract more people and to become better at my work. However, the analysis revealed concerning the students who expressed a moderate intention, analysis showed that their reluctance could be about the time-consuming character of the tool. So 4 students considered it time-consuming, actually. So this could contribute to their reluctance. Some of the comments were, it requires a lot of quality time and making comments too. Or I would like to find more time to get to know it because it's very useful, but I have other priorities now and DeviantArt takes time. So we can see here that, their reluctance could be about the time, the restrictions that the platform poses. And one student, again, maintained a negative intention. Now, let's move on to the results that were drawn from the questionnaire. The consolidation of the questionnaire corroborated the data from the reflections. Now, concerning the question, is it easy to become successful in the DeviantArt platform? We can see that 6 out of 11 students, which is 54.5%, consider the success as moderately easy. So this reflects also the uncertainty levels of the previous table as to whether they will continue using it or not. So here the results are validated. Now, figure 2 shows the answers that the students gave concerning the 3 most important drawbacks of the DeviantArt platform. And here we can see that the first and most important drawback is the time-consuming character of the platform. So this was something that was mentioned in the reflections as well. So again, this validates the reflections of the students and the time requirements the tool poses. Moving on to slide 15, we can see the last question. Now, figure 3 shows the students' answers on whether they would like to continue their activity after the termination of the course. So we can see that 54.5%, that's 6 out of 11 students, would like to remain active on DeviantArt, whereas 4 students answered maybe. So again, this reinforces the qualitative analysis and the students' moderate intention of future DeviantArt activity. Now, this presentation described the students' positive perceptions of Deviant Art, the social networking tool that was used as a tool for creating collaborative learning opportunities. The students were positive about these aspects of the tool. However, they were reluctant. They expressed moderate intention of remaining active after the end of the course. Now, the obvious limitation is the small number of participants, even though that was the total number of the first year students that we had in the semester of 2019. More extensive research, however, could be done on specific features of the tool, not just the general aspect of the tool. The specific features could give us more insight into the tool and more knowledge that could further determine the pedagogical aspect of it. Here are the references that I used in the study. And finally, here is my email in case you have any more questions or you would like to give me your feedback or your comments. Thank you very much for watching my presentation.